Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer. Today on our 2008 Ford F-150, we're going to be checking out and showing you how to install the WeatherTech rear mud flaps. So when it comes to mud flaps, floor liners, bug guards, window visors, all those type of things, I feel like just about everyone has heard of that WeatherTech name before, and there's a reason why. It's because they make good stuff and products that actually fit right and work really well. That definitely holds true with these. Since they're custom fit, they really kind of just, go around your truck's body lines and look almost factory. So good deal there. And they're no drill, so they use existing holes that are already there to actually bolt up, which is cool. You're not going to have to try to customize stuff and drill holes and everything else. Something I do want to mention, if you already happen to have factory mud flaps, these are essentially a direct replacement, and that's exactly what happened here today. One of them was missing already, and the other one sounds like he backed over something and it cracked that factory one and just wasn't happy with how it looked and kind of tired of not having them. So pick these up, put them right in. So if that's what you're wanting to do, if you already had the factory ones, you don't like how they look, or they're broke or missing or whatever, you're still going to be able to pop these on. And it's a good idea on a truck to have them. Honestly, they're not just for aesthetics and how they look. I mean, it definitely gives it more of a truck look, in my opinion. But they actually do serve a purpose. And a couple of them being, it's going to help prevent stuff from flying up on your rear quarter here. And not only on the outside, but on the inside too. So on these Fords, I kind of loop around and you got a ledge here. And like this one, so this one didn't have the mud flap on it. I'll just reach up here real quick. Just caked full of wet mud. All right, so that dries out, that sits up there, and then that promotes rust. And then you start, losing your sheet metal here and it's starting to rust away. So the mud flap on there, it covers that whole tire length and really helps stop that stuff from shooting up inside of there and potentially rusting everything. Something else I want to mention too is your tire size. Okay, so I can't speak for every single tire size that you have. In the back, it shouldn't be that big of an issue as it would be in the front. But if you have really large, oversized tires or something like that, keep in mind they may make contact. To give you a reference, so we'll see what our truck has. So these are a 255 70 R17, and I got quite a bit of space there. I can essentially get my whole entire hand in between the tire and the mud flap. So the way that these are actually going to attach, they give you some stainless steel hardware that uses existing holes, and then up top here it kind of just pinches the wheel well edge there. So super straightforward and really nothing to it. I do want to mention if you need just the back set, those are available. If you need just the fronts, you can grab those, and you can also grab a complete set. So all four corners if you need them or just want to freshen things up, whatever the case may be. Since these are the no drill type, installation's super easy and really shouldn't give you any issues. But if you'd like to see how that's done, feel free to hang out. We'll go ahead and get this installed together now. So beginner installation, we're going to be here behind our back tire, and we just want to kind of prep the area before we get our mud flap on. So clean it off, wipe it down, spray it down, whatever you need to do. But then here in this area, we need to apply a little piece of film, and I guess it just helps keep it protected, the paint and stuff from our mud flap. So since it sticks on there, I want to make sure it sticks good. So I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol, just spray it down in that area and get it clean and dry. So once we verified that, here's our stickers. Since we're on the passenger side, we want to use the one that's labeled RHS. I assume that's right hand side. We'll just peel it off and do the best we can here to get it right along that edge. At this point, we can grab the appropriate side mud flap. They are labeled. We got right hand. Then if you look up here, there's a little mechanism deal. You want to make sure that it is facing the locked position, and what this is going to do when we put this on, this piece here is going to kind of rest in between the mud flap and our fender's edge there. And then when you tighten it, it's going to draw together and help hold the mud flap in place. And I also want to mention, you know, if your truck had factory mud flaps, ours actually did, and they just got busted apart and took them off. But you may have some metal nut plates that are on here. You want to get rid of those too. You just want these to be wide open holes. But we'll take this and kind of get it into position. It's sitting flat. And then you're going to take the included hardware, which is a bolt and a flat washer, and push them through. And those are going to kind of hold in place. If I can manage this here. If you're having trouble getting one of them started, might be worthwhile just to pull the other bolt out and try the one you're having an issue with, which is what I did, and it seemed to work out. And so while we're holding this in place, what I'm going to do is just tighten this down. That'll kind of keep it held up where we want it, so we can get to the back side of those other bolts and get the hardware on that. So these are going to come through to the underside, and what we're going to do is take the included flange nuts and get them started. So on the back side where our bolts are coming through, we're going to take the flange nuts that we talked about and get these started hand tight. And since these are flange nuts, hopefully what the thought is, we can get these as tight as we can by hand, and then come back to the head of the bolt and be able to tighten it down, and hopefully the nuts will catch and we don't have to come back here and hold them from spinning. So that'd definitely make it a little bit easier, but that's what we're going to go for, and I got a good feeling it's going to work out. So get these started and come back and tighten them. So take our Phillips head bit and just turn it by hand. And it feels like the nuts actually caught and gripped, and then we'll just snug them down a little bit. You don't need to crank down on these things by any means. It does make it easier if you have a tool like this where you can put that bit in, just because there's not a lot of room here. Or if you don't have one of these, you can also grab just kind of your regular 1/4-inch socket wrench, put on a 1/4-inch socket, and then the bit will fit into that too. So it's another way you could do it, but let's go ahead and kind of snug these down a little bit. And once this is done, you're simply just going to repeat that same exact process to get the driver's side on. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the WeatherTech rear mud flaps on our 2008 Ford F-150.